When Deathworlders hear the call, the distress signal arrived like a whisper in the cosmic void, barely detectable among the background radiation of space. Deep within Earth's orbital defense station, communications officer Sarah Chen nearly missed it as she monitored the usual channels. But something about the pattern caught her attention, a mathematical sequence that couldn't be natural. "Commander Rodriguez, I've got something unusual here," she called out, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. Commander Maria Rodriguez crossed the command center with quick strides. 20 years of service had given her an instinct for when something truly mattered. "What have you found, Lieutenant?" A repeating signal from the Perseus arm, approximately 47 light-years out. It's not random." Chen enhanced the signal pattern on the main display. "Look at this mathematical progression. It's definitely artificial." Rodriguez studied the data, her dark eyes narrowing. "Run it through the xenolinguistics eye. Let's see what we're dealing with." The translation took several minutes. When the results appeared, both officers fell silent. The message was clear. To any who hear, we face extinction. The Skornek Empire destroys all who resist. Our children die. Our worlds burn. If mercy exists among the stars, answer us. Coordinates follow. Rodriguez immediately contacted Earth Defense Command. Within hours, the highest levels of human government were aware that humanity had received its first confirmed message from another intelligent species, and it was a cry for help. The United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from every major nation gathered in the reinforced chamber beneath Geneva, their faces grave as they reviewed the translated message. Chinese Representative Weidlin spoke first. "We must consider the risks. We know nothing of these aliens or their enemies. This could be a trap." American Secretary of Defense James Mitchell leaned forward. "Or it could be exactly what it appears, a species facing genocide. Can we ignore that?" Russian General Dmitry Volkov drummed his fingers on the table. "The question isn't whether we can ignore it, but whether we should. Earth has finally achieved unity after centuries of conflict. Do we risk everything for strangers?" Indian Prime Minister Priya Sharma raised her hand for attention. "Perhaps we should consider what makes us human. Our ancestors survived ice ages, plagues, and wars that would have destroyed weaker species. We evolved on a world that challenged us at every turn. If we don't answer this call, what does that say about us?" The debate continued for hours. Military advisors presented tactical assessments. Scientists discussed the implications of first contact. Philosophers argued about moral obligations to unknown species. Finally, Earth President Sofia Raventos called for a vote. The decision was unanimous. Humanity would answer the call. 3 months later, Earth's most advanced warships gathered at the edge of the solar system. The fleet consisted of 12 vessels, each representing the pinnacle of human military technology. At its heart was the UESS Leviathan, a kilometer-long battleship bristling with weapons that had never been tested in actual combat. Admiral Jack Harrison stood on the Leviathan's bridge, watching as the last ships moved into formation. At 62, he was one of the few commanders with actual combat experience from the Mars Rebellion 20 years earlier. His gray hair and weathered face spoke of hard decisions and sleepless nights. "All ships report ready, Admiral," reported Captain Lisa Patel, his second in command. Harrison nodded. "Open a channel to the fleet." His voice carried to every human in the Armada. "Men and women of Earth, we embark on a journey unlike any in human history. We go not as conquerors, but as protectors. We answer a call for help from beings we've never met, against an enemy we don't know. But we go as humans, stubborn, resilient, and unwilling to let bullies have their way. Whatever we find out there, we'll face it together." The jump drives engaged simultaneously, bending space around the fleet. In an instant, they crossed 47 light-years and emerged in an unknown system. What they found took their breath away. A planet that might once have been beautiful now showed massive scars visible from orbit. Continents bore the marks of orbital bombardment. Cities lay in ruins, and debris fields of destroyed ships formed rings around the world. "Detecting life signs," reported the science officer, "concentrated in underground shelters. They're hiding." "Sir, we're being scanned," the tactical officer announced. "Low power systems, probably civilian." Harrison made a decision. "Broadcast on all frequencies. Let them know we're here to help." The response came quickly. "Coordinates to a hidden facility on the planet's northern continent." Harrison personally led the first contact team, despite protests from his security chief. The shuttle descended through smoke-filled skies, landing near what appeared to be a natural cave formation. As the humans emerged in their combat armor, a hidden door opened in the rock face. The being that stepped out made Harrison's team stop in their tracks. The Zelathi stood 7 feet tall, but seemed impossibly fragile. Their bodies were thin, almost translucent, with skin that shimmered like mother of pearl. 4 delicate arms ended in long fingers, and their large, multifaceted eyes reflected rainbow colors. You came," the alien said, its voice melodious despite obvious exhaustion. "I am Varix, speaker for the Zelathi." We had lost all hope. Harrison removed his helmet, showing his weathered human face. "Admiral Jack Harrison, United Earth Fleet. We received your distress call. We're here to help." Varix's eyes widened as it studied the humans. "You are dense. Your bodies generate heat like small stars. Your planet must be." It paused, searching for words. "Hostile beyond imagination." Harrison smiled grimly. "Earth's no paradise. Gravity that would crush most species, weather that kills, predators everywhere. We call it home." Inside the shelter, Harrison's team met with Zelathi leaders. The aliens moved carefully in their presence, clearly awed by human physical power. They explained their situation with growing desperation. "The Skornak Empire conquers," said Elder Thys, the oldest Zelathi present. "They believe only the strong deserve to exist. When they found us, they saw our technology and wanted it. When we refused to surrender, they began systematic extermination." "Tell us about their military capabilities," Harrison requested. Varix projected holographic images. The Skornak were revealed as massive reptilian beings, 8 feet tall with natural armor plating and 4 powerful arms. Their ships were enormous, brutal constructions designed for overwhelming force. "They have conquered 17 species," Thys continued. "None could match their strength. Their military doctrine is simple: total dominance or total destruction." Captain Patel studied the tactical data. "Their ships are powerful but slow. Their weapons favor energy output over precision. Classic intimidation tactics." Harrison nodded thoughtfully. "They've never fought humans. Never faced a species from a death world." He turned to the Zelathi. "Your technology is more advanced than ours in many ways. Why couldn't you fight back?" Varix's colors shifted to what seemed like embarrassment. "We evolved on a peaceful world. Low gravity, no predators, abundant resources. We developed technology for exploration and understanding, not war. Our bodies cannot withstand combat conditions. The Skornak, they hunt us like your species might hunt small animals." The human team exchanged glances. Harrison saw the same thought in their eyes. These Skornak had no idea what they were about to face. "How long until their next attack?" Harrison asked. "Our scouts report a major fleet massing 2 systems away," Thys replied. "Perhaps 10 of your days before they arrive to finish us." Harrison stood, his decision made. "Then we have work to do. We'll need to integrate some of your technology with our weapon systems, and we'll need to teach them what happens when you threaten those under human protection." Over the next week, human engineers worked alongside Zelathi scientists. The aliens marveled at human endurance, their ability to work for hours without rest, to lift weights that would shatter Zelathi bones, to think in terms of weapons and tactics with frightening efficiency. "Your minds," Varix said to Harrison during a planning session. "They shift from peace to war so quickly. It's terrifying, and fascinating. Harrison paused in reviewing battle plans. We learned early that the universe doesn't care about good intentions. On Earth, you evolved to be predator or prey. We became both, and neither. We became survivors. The Zelathi shared their advanced sensor technology and shield systems. In return, humans showed them weapons that made the peaceful aliens recoil in shock: nuclear warheads, kinetic bombardment systems, and close combat weapons designed for brutality. "Why do you have so many ways to kill?" asked a young Zelathi engineer. Marine Captain Thomas answered bluntly. "Because on Earth, everything else had ways to kill us. We just got better at it." As the Skornak fleet approached, the human ships took position around the Zelathi homeworld. Harrison stood on the Leviathan's bridge, watching the tactical display. Beside him, Varix observed with a mixture of hope and fear. 37 Skornak vessels incoming, reported the tactical officer. They're broadcasting demands for surrender. Harrison's smile was cold. "Let's introduce ourselves. No mercy for the merciless." The Skornak fleet emerged from hyperspace with practiced arrogance. 37 warships, each a testament to brutal efficiency, formed their standard intimidation pattern. At the center, the command vessel Dominator dwarfed even the largest human ships. On its bridge, War Master Grax studied the unexpected defenders with contempt. "What are these new ships?" he growled, his four arms gesturing dismissively. "The Zelathi have found allies. No matter. We'll crush them like all the others." His tactical officer's scales shifted uneasily. "War Master, these vessels are unknown to our databases. Their configuration is unusual. Heavy armor, multiple weapon systems, and they're generating enormous power signatures." Grax's teeth gleamed. "Send the standard ultimatum. Surrender or die." Admiral Harrison received the message on the Leviathan's bridge. The holographic image of War Master Grax filled the screen. 8 feet of armored reptilian arrogance. "Unknown vessels, you protect the weak Zelathi. This is your only warning. Withdraw now or be destroyed. The Skornak Empire does not tolerate defiance." Harrison stood slowly, his weathered face calm. Beside him, Varix trembled slightly but held position. Harrison had insisted the Zelathi representative remain visible. This was their world being defended. "War Master Grax, I am Admiral Jack Harrison of the United Earth Fleet. The Zelathi are under our protection. You will cease all hostile actions and withdraw immediately." Grax's laugh was a harsh bark. "Earth? Never heard of it. You dare threaten the Skornak Empire? You will learn what happens to those woe." Harrison cut the transmission mid-sentence. He turned to his tactical officer. "Commander Walsh, execute Combat Plan Alpha. Show them why Earth earned its classification as a death world." The human fleet moved with coordinated precision. Where Skornak tactics relied on overwhelming firepower and intimidation, humans employed speed, deception, and calculated violence. The first Skornak squadron advanced, confident in their numerical superiority. They never saw the stealth missiles until impact. Nuclear warheads detonated against their shields, weapons the Skornak considered primitive but had never faced in such concentrated form. "Impossible." Grax roared as 2 of his forward vessels immediately lost power. "Their weapons. Nuclear fission devices," his science officer reported, scales pale with shock. "But the yield is beyond anything in our database. And War Master, their ships are accelerating at rates that should crush their crews." What the Skornak didn't understand was that humans had evolved under crushing gravity. What would kill most species was merely uncomfortable for Earth's children. Captain Lisa Patel led the Thunderstrike squadron in a devastating attack run. Her ships, smaller and faster than the Skornak vessels, darted between enemy formations like predatory fish. Kinetic rams traveling at significant fractions of light speed punched through shields designed to stop energy weapons. "Their point defense is too slow," Paddle reported to Harrison. "They can't track us at these speeds. Commencing close-quarter assault." The Skornak watched in horror as human ships engaged at ranges they considered suicidal. Marine boarding teams launched in armored pods, slamming into Skornak hulls like meteors. Aboard the Skornak cruiser Ravager, Sergeant Mike Johnson led his squad through the breach. The Skornak crew, confident in their physical superiority, charged the boarders directly. They quickly learned that humanity had its own advantages. Johnson ducked under a massive four-arm swing, his enhanced reflexes faster than the Skornak anticipated. He drove his combat knife, a monomolecular blade, through the alien's armor plating like it was paper. Around him, his Marines demonstrated why humans were apex predators on their own world. Corridor secured, Johnson reported, not even breathing hard. These guys are strong but slow. Moving to engineering. On the Leviathan's bridge, Harrison watched the battle unfold. Varric stood beside him, colors shifting in amazement. "Your soldiers," the Zelathi said softly. "They're so small compared to the Skornak, yet they fight like cornered animals," Harrison finished. "Because that's what we are. Every human child learns that when you can't run, you fight. And when you fight to win." The main Skornak fleet finally organized a coordinated response. Energy weapons capable of cracking moons focused on the human ships, but the integrated Zelathi shield technology, powered by human fusion reactors, held firm. "Sir," the weapons officer called out. "Permission to deploy the hammer." Harrison's face hardened. "Do it." The UESS Mjolnir, a specialized siege vessel, moved into position, its spinal mount, a mass driver the length of the ship, charged with ominous purpose. The projectile it fired was simple, a 20-ton rod of ultra-dense metal, accelerated to 10% light speed. The round struck the Skornak battleship Conqueror. Shields designed to stop energy weapons offered no protection against pure kinetic force. The impact vaporized half the ship instantly. The remainder tumbled through space, its hull glowing from the transferred energy. War Master Grax watched his fleet being systematically destroyed. These humans fought like nothing in Skornak experience. They didn't posture or threaten. They simply killed with terrifying efficiency. "War Master," his tactical officer's voice trembled. "They're jamming our retreat coordinates. We can't jump to hyperspace." For the first time in his career, Grax felt something he'd only seen in his victims: fear. Harrison's voice came over the comm system, broadcast to every Skornak ship. "War Master Grax, you wanted to teach us about strength. Let me teach you about humans. We evolved on a world that killed the weak. We survived ice ages, super predators, and our own wars. We learned to be merciless because mercy was death." The human fleet pressed their advantage. Ships worked in perfect coordination, their tactics constantly shifting. Skornak vessels found themselves trapped in kill boxes, their escape routes cut off by faster human ships. Commander Rodriguez led her destroyer squadron in a devastating maneuver, using micro-jumps, something the Skornak thought impossible in a gravity well. Her ships appeared inside the enemy formation. Point-blank nuclear detonations shattered 3 more Skornak vessels. "They're breaking," she reported. "Enemy formation is collapsing." But Harrison wasn't finished. He opened a channel to all Skornak ships. "You conquered species who couldn't fight back. You destroyed peaceful worlds. Now you face humans, and we don't forgive genocide." The Leviathan's main gun spoke. Particle beams, enhanced with Zelathi focusing technology, carved through Skornak armor like surgical lasers. Ship after ship died in the cold void. On the Dominator's bridge, Grax realized the truth. His empire had built its power on intimidating weaker species. They had never faced true predators. These humans weren't just winning. They were sending a message. "All ships," Grax commanded desperately, "scatter. Every direction. Some must survive to warn." His words cut off as Marine boarding teams breached the Dominator's bridge. Grax turned to face them, drawing his ceremonial sword. He was War Master of the Skornak. He would die fighting. Gunnery Sergeant Amanda Chen stepped forward, her armor scarred from combat. She moved with casual confidence, assault rifle steady. Grax charged with a roar that had terrified dozens of species. Chen sidestepped smoothly, decades of combat training compressed into instinct. Her rifle butt struck precisely at the base of Grax's skull, a nerve cluster her suit's AI had identified. The massive alien crashed to the deck, paralyzed but conscious. "War Master Grax," she said calmly, "you're now a prisoner of Earth. You'll stand trial for genocide." The battle was over in 6 hours. Of 37 Skornak ships, none escaped. Some were captured, their crews prisoners. Most were drifting wreckage, testament to human fury. But Harrison wasn't done. He turned to his communications officer. "Open a channel to the Skornak homeworld. Maximum power, all frequencies." When the connection established, Harrison stood before the visual pickup. His uniform was pristine, his expression granite hard. Beside him, Varix represented the species the Skornak had tried to exterminate. "Leaders of the Skornak Empire," Harrison began, his voice carrying the weight of judgment. "I am Admiral Harrison of Earth. You sent a fleet to commit genocide. That fleet no longer exists. Your war master is our prisoner." He paused, letting the words sink in. "You believe in strength. Let me show you true strength. Earth's entire fleet, over 200 warships, is now mobilizing. We're coming for you, not to conquer, but to end your empire's reign of terror." Gasps and roars echoed from the Skornak Leadership Council. Harrison continued relentlessly. "You have 2 choices. Surrender unconditionally, release all conquered species, and face justice for your crimes. Or fight us and face the same fate as your fleet. You have 7 of your days to decide." He leaned forward slightly. "And understand this. We evolved on a death world. War isn't our profession. It's our nature. Your empire ends now, one way or another." The transmission ended. On the Leviathan's bridge, silence reigned. Finally, Varix spoke, its colors shifting to patterns of awe and gratitude. "You saved us, but more than that, you've changed everything. The galaxy's balance of power." Harrison turned to the Zelathi. "We answered your call for help, but this isn't over. The Skornak created this situation through brutality and conquest. They'll face justice, but the galaxy needs something new." "What do you mean?" Varix asked. Harrison smiled, the first genuine warmth he'd shown since the battle began. "A coalition. Species working together for mutual protection. The Zelathi have advanced technology. Humans have other qualities. Together, we can ensure no empire terrorizes peaceful worlds again." Over the following days, as human reinforcements arrived and Skornak resistance crumbled, the foundation of something unprecedented took shape. The Zelathi, saved from extinction, became humanity's first alien allies. Their combined technologies created possibilities neither species had imagined alone. The Skornak Empire fell within 3 months. Most surrendered after seeing footage of their fleet's destruction. Those who resisted learned why humans were classified as Deathworlders. Justice was swift, but not cruel. Humans understood the difference between warriors and war criminals. War Master Grax, during his trial, made a statement that echoed through galactic history. "We thought strength meant the ability to destroy. The humans showed us that true strength is the will to protect. We chose our fate when we chose to be predators. They chose to be guardians." As new alliances formed and previously conquered species regained freedom, Admiral Harrison stood once more with Varix, now appointed Zelathi ambassador to Earth. "Your people have given the galaxy something it never had," Varix said. "Hope that bullies can be stopped. Fear that those who choose evil will face consequences." Harrison nodded thoughtfully. "On Earth, we have a saying. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. We heard your call, and we acted. That's what humans do." The age of unchecked galactic empires ended. The age of protected peace began. And throughout the galaxy, the message spread. When the innocent cry for help, the Deathworlders answer, and mercy isn't an option for those who prey on the weak. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as the guardians that the galaxy never knew it needed. The children of Earth's harsh embrace had become the shield against darkness, proving that sometimes the greatest monsters are exactly what the universe needs to keep the real monsters at bay.